لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى. That was speech that hurts the Prophet. That speech that was meant to hurt the Prophet ﷺ. And now from that, Allah is teaching us that doesn't stop with the Prophet ﷺ. You need to learn to speak in a straightforward, dignified, targeted, purposeful manner all the time. And he didn't even put a maf'ul lahu. He didn't say قولوا للناس أو قولوا للمؤمنين قولا سديدا أو قولوا لبعضكم بعض قولا سديدا. No, قولوا قولا سديدا. So is there, who do you talk to in this way? You talk to everyone this way. There's nobody you don't talk to this way. You must keep your arrow straight. You must keep your arrow straight. Sometimes I'm about to give khutbah, people come and say, son, there's some journalists here. Just wanted you to know. Oh, okay. I'll pick a different surah. If I have something to say that's based on the taqwa of Allah, and you want me to have the taqwa of the journalist, isn't the sidad of my speech going to change? Isn't that deviated speech? If I have taqwa of Allah and I have something meaningful, purposeful, straightforward to say, then I need to not be afraid of offending anybody. The only one I need to be afraid of offending is who? In the ayah. Allah. Where's that covered? Ittaqullah. Ittaqullah. So now Allah is teaching us actually that the only way we're going to develop clear speech communication is to truly develop taqwa. And when someone has a problem with clear speech communication, it's not a problem of speech, it's a problem of taqwa. The root first, fix what's in here. Don't be intimidated by anybody else. Be intimidated by Allah. When you're intimidated by Allah, then you'll be able to speak straightforward and you won't hurt anyone. Because you say, I fear Allah, I'm not afraid of anyone. No, I'm going to speak the haqq. No, because now you're not afraid of offending people. This is not, I'm not afraid to offend people. I'm not afraid of people, because there's two kinds of extremes. One group of people that speaks out of fear, the other group of people that speaks out of anger. Right? So either your fear is controlling you, and your fear can take you away from the taqwa of Allah, and your anger can control you, and your anger can take you away from the taqwa of Allah. Once you can manage both of those emotions, and you really have taqwa of Allah, then you can speak straightforward without your emotions getting in the way. Not your fear, not your anger. Yes. Some folks have this weird idea that the angrier you sound, the more Islamic you are. Right? So I just want to listen to the guy that gives like the, brothers, that just raises my iman, man, the way he yells, I love it. And these kuffar, and they're like, the adrenaline rush, so much taqwa. No, that's just your insecurity and your low self-esteem, and you felt powerful for a moment. And it felt good. Or you listen to a speaker, there's debates going on between Muslims and Christians, or Muslims and Hindus, or whoever, and the Muslim speaker humiliates the Hindu, humiliates the atheist, just absolutely just demolishes them in public and just batters them, and you're like, yes, Islam. That's not taqwa. That's not taqwa. If the kafir and the disbeliever and the atheist or whoever, if they're raising their voice, if they're getting loud, what does Allah say? إِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ what? قَالُوا سَلَامًا. Walk away. I can only have sadid conversation. If you want to raise your voice, then I can no longer have this conversation. I'm only interested in intelligent conversation, not emotional conversation. I can't do that. So I'm just going to walk away. Unlike before Islam, أَلَا يَجْهَلَنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَاهِلٌ فَنَجْهَلُ فَوْقَ جَهْلِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Right? The pre-Islam, the poet used to say, he killed the enemy tribe leader, and he put his foot on the corpse's head, and he proudly said, no one better become ignorant with us, because we will show them more ignorance than any ignorant people can ever have ignorance. You want to be jahil with us? We are going to be more jahil than any jahil ever been jahil. فَنَجْعَلُ فَوْقَ جَهْلِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Right? Is that the Muslim response? ادفع بالتي هي أحسن. واهجرهم إذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. If they're mocking, then leave حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره. Just go away. Don't engage this. This is not for you. That's also a lack of taqwa, because then it becomes about egos, isn't it? If I'm going to yell back, this is not about Islam anymore. This is about my emotional control. What is the regulation of my emotions? That's taqwa. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullah. I fear Allah. I'm mindful of Allah. I'm protecting myself from making Allah unhappy. Allah has given me guidelines on how to regulate my emotions, both fear and intimidation and anger and rage. Even the Prophet ﷺ, as angry as they make him, Allah said, if they don't stop, then I will allow the Prophet to be angry at them. And even though they were offending him, Rasul ﷺ was given breaks. Da' adahum. Keep yourself from hurting them. There's emotional regulation in the Quran, not just spiritual regulation. There's communication regulation. And only then can you actually have clear communication. You cannot have clear communication without regulating your emotions. And the ultimate regulator of your emotions is the taqwa of Allah. That's what the ayah is saying. وَتَقْدِيمُ التَّقْوَى مُشْعِرٌ بأنما سيؤمرون به من سديد القول من شعب التقوى كما هو من شعب الإيمان. Clear, this kind of speech is part of the shu'ab of taqwa. Now, there are there's two major discussions left on this ayah, and then we'll get to the next ayah too, inshallah. The two major discussions are, there were three kinds of problematic people described in this surah, and then there are two models. The three problematic people are al-munafiqun, alladhina fi qulubihim marad, and al-murjifun. Yeah? And if Allah is telling us to have taqwa of Allah and speak straightforward, implicitly He's saying the munafiqun don't speak straightforward, alladhina fi qulubihim marad don't speak straightforward, and al-murjifun don't speak straightforward. But they all three have a different speech pathology. They all violate taqwa in their own ways. The munafiq is very clever with their speech in the Quran, yes or no? سَلَقُوكُمْ بِأَلْسِنَةٍ حِدَادٍ. They got sharp, metal, targeted tongues. They're very strategic with their comments. The problem is, when taqwa is in the heart, right? When the heart is in the wrong place, the arrow is shooting at the wrong target. It's a really good arrow, and it's a really good target, but it's the wrong target. You're very good at shooting your target. Because of nifaq, you always pick the wrong target. You pick the wrong target. Then you get الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ. They're not quite here, not quite there. Sometimes they speak and it hits the target. Sometimes they speak and it goes to the wrong target. Because to them the target has become fuzzy. Because it's like if I'm comparing the heart to eyesight, their eyesight has become blurry. Right? Their eyesight has become blurry. تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبَ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. Right? The hearts have become blind. So now, depending on the sickness, the more you start missing the mark, you're emotionally all over the place. So you're on sometimes, off sometimes, oscillating in your speech. Then you get the al-murjifuna fil Madinah. The ones who want to create as many problems as possible, you know what they do? They do carpet bombing. Let's start every rumor possible, every lie possible. Hit the target, don't hit the target, try everything, something will stick. Let's flood Medina with all kinds of controversy, and hopefully something will land. Let's just take the quiver and take the arrow and just start shooting in the air. Right? Something will work. This is al-murjifun. Irjaf is literally like a zalzala. You're just trying to hit every place and any place. And you don't know which one's going to stick. This is why we found so many different kinds of attempts that the munafiqun were being duped into. Right? This is al-murjifun. So Allah says to the believers, well, the only way you're going to put a stop to this, the only way to create a response to this chaos is ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. You're going to have the taqwa of Allah and you're going to speak in a directed, straightforward way. Now, this last comment before the prayer, inshallah. After the prayer, I'm going to talk to you about what is the opposite of al-qawl as-sadid. Because by opposites, things are known. تُعْرَفُ الْأَشْيَاءُ بِأَضْدَادِهَا.
You recognize things by their antonyms, by their opposites. So if Allah is saying speak straightforward, clearly there's a problem of speaking not straightforward. There's al-iwaj fil kalam, right? What does that look like? What does it mean to not speak straightforward? And how can I become more mindful of when I am and when I'm not speaking straightforward? What are the subtle ways in which I can start deviating from that? And the more I deviated from that, that is a violation of my own taqwa. So I have to protect my taqwa by protecting my speech. By the way, you'll notice in the next ayah, which we're not up to yet, you'll notice in the next ayah, Allah mentions يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ, right? He'll correct your actions. He'll fix your actions. Taqwa is where? In the heart. Speech is where? On the tongue. Actions are where? In the hands. There's a transition. It started in the hand, started in the heart, goes to the tongue, and translates into actions. So it's as if Allah is saying, actions are going to be directly impacted by what you say, and what you say will be directly impacted by your heart, if it has taqwa or not. So we cannot talk about changing actions until we talk about fixing speech, and we can't talk about fixing speech until we talk about taqwa. There's this pipeline that Allah described in this ayah. And we're going to explore that pipeline, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hey guys, you just watched a short clip from this surah. What I want you to do now is go through the entire surah with me. It's called the Deeper Look series, and you can catch it on BayyinahTV.com under the Deeper Look section. So get started.